What's going on, guys? Master Shields here, Champions Martial Arts Center. This is Talk Tuesday, episode number 5. On today's episode, we're talking about stealing, making friends, and competition. You know, one of the big things that we absolutely love about the show is being able to connect with people just like you and answer their questions, find out their struggles, and be able to genuinely help them. So thank you so much for submitting your questions. We've been having a ton of questions just pour in throughout the entire week. So we're very excited to answer all of the questions that you guys have submitted through the week. So the very first question that we have is, how do I help my child make friends? A lot of times we have different types of personality types, whether you're an introvert, whether you're an extrovert. Some kids are shy, some are outgoing. It really depends on each particular child's personality. So forcing your child to be an extrovert when they are an introvert isn't really going to be the easiest task. But making friends is vital for their development, so they understand how things work, being able to deal with other people, learning how to have conversations, and just work in groups is a big thing. So when kids are playing, they want to play with friends and play with neighbors. And so how do I teach them to make friends? How do I help them? So the biggest thing as a parent you want to do is teach them social skills. Teach them how to start conversations. Have them start conversations with you and try and teach them how to open up conversations. A lot of times people just don't know how to start conversations. We just kind of just go through life not knowing what the right questions are and all these different things and how to talk to people, and we wait for someone else to do it. And so some easy things that you can do with your kids to help them open up and make friends is teaching them how to start conversations, teaching them how to ask questions. One of the big things that we do here at the school is what's called a praise machine and a good finder. If you can start constantly teaching your kids to find the good in everything and find positive things to be thankful for and things to like, your kids are going to be able to do that. They can walk around school and say, hey, I like your shoes, or I love that jacket, that's so cool, or you have a really awesome backpack, or wow, where'd you get your pencil from? They're able to start conversations based on interests and things that they like. And so by teaching them how to start conversations will help them open up to other people, and ultimately they make more friends based on that one specific thing. You want to provide opportunities that they can have friends come over. If they don't have a lot of friends, have the ones that they do have them come over to the house, or have them go out with their friends, take them out somewhere where they can spend time with friends. Introduce them to neighbors, have them play outside with the neighbor kids, and really cultivate that particular lifestyle where they're able to meet people on a regular basis and there's time for the playtime with their friends. That's an important thing. Encourage out-of-school activities. Martial arts is a phenomenal activity because it's not geared around a team, it's all individualized. But you're going to meet a lot of other kids just like yourself. So it's easier to help your kids make friends because now they're in an environment where it's geared on them rather than how good the team performs. So encourage out-of-school activities, whether it's martial arts, whether it's scouts, whether it's youth groups or children's church, whatever is a great opportunity to get them out of the house and meeting people is vital for what they need in their developmental stage. And last, expose them to kids. Expose your kids to a variety of kids that they can now find and cultivate like-minded friends. If you're exposing them to the same type of person, that's all they know. If all of the kids in the neighborhood are very athletic, they're very sports related, but your kid doesn't like sports, they like Harry Potter and reading books, that's not going to be a very good match. They're not going to mesh very well. But if they're able to meet different kids at different places, that's why martial arts is great, and or going to church for kids is great, or Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts. Those are great things because there's different types of personalities and different types of kids. You're going to have the athletic ones. You're going to have the smart ones. You're going to have the introverts, the extroverts. So exposing your kids to different types of people is truly going to help them cultivate positive and strong relationships. So that's how I would help my daughter to make friends. I will use all of those as she gets older to help her make as many friends as possible. The next question that we have is, how do I help my kid stop taking things that don't belong to him? A lot of times, especially little kids do this. Maybe you've been in a store, a grocery store, and you've noticed they're taking candy off the rack, or they're taking a toy, or they're grabbing something. We need to teach them right from wrong. And as they get older, they understand that. But from a preschool age, from a little kid age, they need to understand what's right and wrong, and that's where we're really teaching them. So you want to teach them trust. Teach them what is important, that if they start doing this, people aren't going to trust them around their things, around their items. Mommy and daddy's not going to trust them because they're not going to be able to uphold that trust because of what they're doing. Teach them that their actions are very important. Their actions speak louder than words. Teach them the golden rule. This is one thing that I've learned within the past couple years, that a lot of kids don't know this. A lot of people don't teach their kids the golden rule. They never even heard of the golden rule. So teach them that. Treat others the way that you want to be treated. So we have to tell them, hey, if you want someone to take your things, you would take someone else's things. And most kids are like, no, I don't want that to happen. So make sure that we're teaching them the golden rule is so important. Teach them trust, the golden rule. Teach the preschool age kids that they understand that you have to explain to them that stealing and taking things is wrong and it hurts others. Let them understand that they need to return those things and apologize, because that's not right. We need to teach them at a young age what's right and what's wrong, because that's going to mold them for their future and help them. Because as they get older in the school age area, they know right from wrong. So you have to make sure that they're understanding consequences. And as they get older in the teenage years, now we're going into peer pressure and other things. So a really cool drill that I've seen a lot of parents do, typically within your neighborhood, there's usually one police officer that lives in every development. Police officers are always at school. And this is a really cool, fun drill that will really teach consequence. So if your kid's ever taken something or stolen something, and you have a friend that's a police officer, they can almost do a scared straight kind of a concept, where they come to their class or come to your house in their entire uniform, and they're saying, hi, I'm here for insert your child's name. Sir, we've been alerted that you've been stealing candy from Safeway. We need to take you into the station. There's potential that you could be under arrest. They have to understand that if they do this one thing, stealing, there's a major consequence, and what that consequence could be. And then ultimately we have to teach them that they're not going to jail, they're not going to have that happen, but this is what could happen. And so some parents use it as a scare tactic. Some teach consequences that way, but that's one drill that you could use for them for that particular thing. In the teenage years, again, this is all about peer pressure. Typically, kids are learning things throughout their life. They know right from wrong, but now if they're around the wrong crowd, they're going to start doing things that could potentially hurt their future. So it's important that you teach your kids peer pressure, that you teach them right from wrong, what's going to happen, what people are going to try and make them do, and let them know what's right and what they should do and what they shouldn't do. At the end of the day, they're going to make the decision anyway, so you have to really cultivate that positivity within them, so that's instilled in their brain, that they understand what I should do and what I shouldn't do, and teach them how to make good choices. So in that teenage years, you want to understand that peer pressure is huge, so you have to know their friends. Know who they're hanging out with. Know who they're talking to. Know their friends. Be the parent who lets their kid invite their friends over, so now you can meet all their friends. Now you have an opportunity to know who they're hanging out with, rather than letting them always leave and go somewhere else. Have them come to your house. Have a movie night. There's a specific day throughout there's an actual movie night where you guys will watch a movie and have their friends come over and get pizza and popcorn and root beer and all kinds of cool things to make it a really fun experience. So now you know who their friends are and they're in a safe environment, and you can cultivate positive relationships. That's huge. And so do that. Also really make sure they understand consequences of what their actions could ultimately lead to. So teaching them positive choices, knowing their friends, that's going to help your teenagers truly be able to avoid those bad decisions that could ultimately be made. The last question that we have is, what are your thoughts on competition? You know, I've been training for martial arts for nearly 30 years now, and I've been competing for almost 20. And so I've had my fair share of tournaments, from a state level to a little small local tournament, to a state level, a national level, a world level, an international level. So I've competed all across the planet, and I can tell you there are pros and cons to competition. One thing that we do here at the school is we don't force competition, but if you are interested, we will help cultivate championship mindsets and help you go in there and achieve success. So I'm kind of 50-50 on competition. A part of me is that, yes, I think it's very important. A part of me is that, no, I think it's bad. And so the reason for that is, hear me out, the reason for that is, the positive side of competition is, I think everyone should compete at least once in their life, at least just once, so you understand what it's about, and if you like it, great. If you don't, no big deal. Competition is going to help pull the best out of you. Competition is going to help create new friendships. Competition is going to give you new insights to different training methods, and that's really going to show you where you're at and can help you. And so competition is great, because then that can motivate you. There's a lot of positive within competition. Now, the flip side of competition that I don't like is that within kids, if kids are very big on self-esteem, and so if they go to a competition and they lose and just get destroyed, that first one they might be okay. They do it again, now you're taking a huge hit to their self-esteem levels. If it happens a third time, there's a pretty good chance they're done. They're going to quit. Because if they don't see success, they're going to start quitting based on failures. Why do you think so many kids drop out of school? Because they get bad grades and it's just not for them. They can't do it. It's not easy, and so they quit. We're in a society that quitting is the easiest option no matter what we do. If something isn't fun, we quit. If something is not exciting, we quit. If something is not what we expect it to, we quit. So from a competition standpoint, I don't like competition because it ultimately can hurt a student by having them have low self-esteem because they're not succeeding at the levels they want. They're not achieving what they want to have happen, and ultimately they could quit. And a lot of tournaments, there's good tournaments and there's bad tournaments. I've been to tournaments where we've seen students lose to a kid on crutches and a cast. And there's no way that should ever happen, but come to find out, that student was a part of the hosting school, and that's how they won, because the judges were biased to that one person, and a lot of people ended up losing to that one kid, but it shouldn't have happened, but it happens in tournaments. I've seen other tournaments from jiu-jitsu tournaments where they go in and one person has a belt, has the designated belt that shows who's who, and at the end of the match the belt came off and the ref gave it to the other person, and automatically that person won because the other guy had more points, but whoever has the belt at the end was the person that got the points, and then the hosting person sided with the ref, and there's just a lot of bad things that happen, but there's a lot of good tournaments too. So I'm 50-50 on tournaments. I think they're great. They're going to help cultivate good relationships. They're going to pull the best out of you. They're really going to make you become a super awesome athlete. But if you're not an athletic person, if that's just not your thing, you're not going to enjoy competition. But I think everyone should at least experience it once in their life, whether it's on a large scale, whether it's a small inter-school tournament. I think competition is important, but finding the right tournament is also important, and helping people understand that there's going to be successes, but there's also going to be failures, and really doing that. So again, I'm torn, 50-50, yes, no, kind of in the middle. So that's just my opinion. Having competed for so long, I've seen both sides of the coin, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. So, but That wraps up the show. That concludes everything. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this week's show, and hopefully we answered a lot of your questions, and that you can take these answers and apply them to everyday life and truly help your kids become the rock stars that they can be and help them live the best life possible. Until next week, you guys keep asking questions and I'll keep answering them.